Oh yeah, we are at the top, friends. Booyah.
What's up, everybody? It has been a long time since I did this, a few months. Hope you've missed me. Hope the quarantine's going well for each and every one of you. I'm here at my house just doing the social distancing thing and had the idea to go back into some old trips. I've got tons of footage. You know that I love to travel. It's one of my major passions in life. Travel and sports, those are like my two big passions. So I had the thought to go back and look at all this content I had, pictures and videos of trips that I never really did anything with. You know, I've always had a GoPro with me. I've always filmed stuff. I haven't put together as many videos as I should have. So I'm gonna do that now. I hope you'll enjoy seeing some of this old footage. The trip I wanna start with is one I did in 2015, in September 2015, to China. So I went to Shanghai, and then to Yangshou and Beijing briefly, and then to Bali. So it was a really fun trip, about 2 weeks long. And at the time, I had a company called KZ, and we did sunglasses. We made sunglasses and beanies. And the reason I had to go over to Shanghai was to go and visit our beanie factory, make sure that the beanies looked good and that they were looking, you know, kind of how we wanted them to, and that we were gonna be satisfied with everything. This was my first experience getting that international first class. So just to start off, I mean, we're flying over and I have a seat belt that has a shoulder strap on it on the airplane. And I've got a full bed and I'm getting handed a menu and like all this amazing stuff that I'd never experienced before in first class. So there's business class and then there's international first class. And international first class is just a step up from business. Both are totally epic. But this was my first experience. It was absolutely incredible. We've got some cool footage and pictures here. I tried to be discreet because you have to kind of act like you belong. You know, you can't look like it's your first time or it's like not cool. Plus you gotta be respectful of others and stuff. So I'm trying to be discreet about it. It was kind of fun. So we get there, and right when we get to Shanghai, and the beauty of it is I show up well rested. I've been able to sleep on the plane. You know, you can even change your clothes and sleep in, you know, pajamas and stuff that they provide you. It's a really cool experience. Right when we get there, there's these, you know, great Chinese people that are waiting for me with a sign that has my name on it. But the beanies were fantastic. They looked great. They were totally up to par with what we wanted and were looking for. And so it was a really quick, easy, successful meeting. So it gave us a ton of time to just explore Shanghai, which I'd never done before. It's a very cool city. It's a very modern city, very clean city.
This guy is
just a ton of fun. One thing about China that I'm gonna be honest I don't love is actually the food. Chinese food here in the States is pretty delicious, but Chinese food in China is not my favorite, if I'm being completely honest. But other than that, I do love China. There's the cultures, they're very polite and kind people, and the scenery is just unbelievable. So here's some quick shots of Shanghai and the Bund, which is like the river area, the Shanghai Tower. You know, we went up into the tower and even above this really cool tower in a building that overlooked the whole city. We went to church in Shanghai, which was really cool. I remember in Shanghai, we went to this really cool temple and saw some really cool Buddha statues and just some cool history around the city. It was a really fun time. We had a ton of fun. For the most part, we hung around the Bund. So from there, we fly to a city called Guilin, which was actually kind of a cool story. We're in Shanghai, we're on the Bund, and we had like another day or two we were gonna stay, but we were just like, why are we staying here? Like, this city's cool, we've seen it, we've been here for a few days. Why don't we go see these? We'd seen those like, what's the movie, Avatar, like the really pointy mountains. We had heard that there was some in Guilin. So we just literally on the riverside, hop on our phones, go on kayak, and look at flights to Guilin from Shanghai. We bought a flight right there and flew out that night. Land in Guilin, find out that Yangshou, which is not too far away, it's like an hour bus ride away, is where you can really see these epic mountains and do a river tour and things like that. So we hop on the bus, head to Yangshou. The next day was just out of this world. Felt like we were in a movie, and we're on a river tour on the Li River and just looking at these epic mountains that are just jutting up out of the river and out of the earth in a very like pointy, unique fashion. It was just totally unbelievable, and we loved it. We loved every second of it. and we ended up cruising all around and checking out the scenery on the scooters.
Oh my God.
There's this hike in Yangshou called Moon Hill, and it's this big pointy mountain with like a hole right in the center of it. Like it's just something you've never seen before, like a cave, but it's really just a big donut hole. And we see this thing and we're like, that is unbelievable. We have to go up there. We've got to hike to the top of this thing. So we cruise our scooters over there. We lock the scooters up because we're worried about getting stolen. There's this sweet lady that's selling water out front. So we buy a bottle of water from her. Tell her when we get back, we might want another bottle of water because we'll be thirsty again. So we hike up to the top. One of the coolest views to this day of my entire life.
Have successfully hiked to the top of this thing, and now we are completely on top of it.
Then we end up hiking back down, and this lady is still there, and she needs a ride because we're kind of in the middle of nowhere. And so she asks me if I have a ride. We buy another bottle of water from her, and I tell her we would love to. We're looking to go. We wanted to go to this mud cave that we'd heard about. And so she says, oh, I know exactly where the mud cave is, and I can show you the way. So you'll drop me off at a certain, but I mean, it's her English is extremely minimal. My Chinese is non-existent. So this is what I understood it to be, and it worked out. But she was basically explaining like that she'll need to be dropped off before, and then she'll point the direction to go. She hops on the back of my scooter, and we cruise through the streets of Yangshou and through the countryside and stuff, through these mountains. Drop her off. She kind of points the direction. Okay, you're gonna go down that way and turn that way, and that was about as much as we got. It was 2 directions. But it did get us to the mud cave. The mud cave was this place that had been talked about so much. We had been hearing it was so cool. You have to do it. It's so great. And it was total garbage. It was like the most commercialized. They've actually ruined something that could have been really cool. These natural caves. They've turned them into very commercialized, touristy, gift shops. And then there's a mud bath at the end that's like very man-made and like not cool. We just weren't enjoying it at all. We felt like we'd just fallen into some awful tourist trap. And it was wasting valuable time that we had to explore Yangshou. So we actually ended the tour early, and we were very polite to the man. We said, hey, this is very kind of you. We appreciate this, but this is not what we were looking for. So if we could just skip all the way to the end right now and just exit this cave, that would be great. So we did that. So if you go to Yangshou, I would suggest you not do the mud cave. That's something I'm really big on, and something I'm working on building is a system that can help people know that truly the best stuff to do when they travel and not the touristy garbage traps like that. So that was Yangshou. Yangshou was just super cool. We went to a kind of a local native Chinese show that night. It was extremely cool. We got to sit on the front row. It's just this cultural experience that I'll never forget. After Yangshou, the plan was to go to Bali.